Hey Scorpio, it's Rebecca from Being Human Tarot here with your November 2018 forecast. This month I'm reading with the Elis Tarot, which there's a little bit of outside noise because I'm actually in a hotel room, hence also the bland background, so I apologize about that in advance. Hopefully it won't be too disruptive. So about this deck. It's really cool. The majors and the court cards are all depicted by 90s pop culture icons. So if you're a child of the 90s like me, that will bring you a lot of joy. However, the kind of caveat with this deck is that the minors are all represented super literally. So if we have a Five of Cups, for example, like it's going to have 5 cups on it. And no other background, no other like context, which makes it pretty hard to read intuitively. And so because of that, I'll be referencing Smith Rider-Waite imagery, just as a heads up to explain why I'm doing that. And yeah, so we'll get started on your reading. Or before that, I will say that I am continuing with the same 3 card spread that I have in months past, where the first card indicates what to focus on this month, the second card indicates what to set aside for the month, and then the third card is an additional consideration for the month. So, for your card of focus for the month, you drew Sade as the Empress. You can see it's a pretty great card. I love her as being depicted as the Empress. And so this month is really going to be a month of abundance for you. It's going to be a month of, for me, I really connect the Empress with getting back in nature. Maybe if you're not a nature person, that's not your thing, so it's kind of more for you about getting back to the things that ground you, the things that root you and make you feel, I know I just said abundance, but the things that make you feel abundant and whole and sensual and, you know, just like really satisfied in a very kind of like overall and yet at the same time specific way. I didn't describe that super well, but it's also, I will say, just to throw out the traditional meaning in case, because it will be relevant for some Scorpios, if you've been wanting to get pregnant, now is a good time, because the Empress is also all about fertility. It doesn't have to be. I think more frequently than not is not, but if that's relevant for your life, then, you know, I want to pass that message on too. But it's going to be a chill month, essentially, because the Empress, she rolls with things. She's taking time for herself. You know, she's eating the foods she wants to eat. She's putting what she wants in her body. You know, and all the ways you can interpret that. And she's also slowing down. You know, she's not sort of maniacally like, gotta make that conference call, gotta schedule this appointment, gotta do this, gotta travel here, gotta do that. She's able to stop and pause and take in her surroundings and appreciate what's going on. So make sure that you're doing that this month, that you're aware of kind of like the blessings that you have. Like I know that like gratitude culture has become a little weird sometimes, where it can, you know, when taken to extremes, be almost like, what are you grateful for? Like, never have a negative emotion. Like, any negative emotion you're having is a choice. It's like, okay, there's some wisdom in all of that, but I think it can get like super thwarted. So when I say to recognize the blessings that you have, I don't mean it in like a militaristic way where if you're feeling low level sadness or high level sadness, that's not okay. That's absolutely okay. And the Empress is actually, she's a super nurturing figure. So while she is blessed and there's a lot going on with her that is also asking you to look around yourself and see like what blessings you have, she's also down with crying, you know, she's down with hard stuff. So if you're going through that, know that like she is a supporting force and you can look to her as almost like a comforter of what else exists out there and is eventually possible. Maybe not right now, but like eventually. As you're set aside, you pulled the Two of Wands. Which is all about planning for your next big thing. Maybe you've kicked something off, you're ready to go. Could be, 2 and 3 of Wands can often be about travel, so that could be a possibility. You know, but it could be anything. It could be a new job, it could be, you know, again, like if the pregnancy thing was relevant to you, it could be about conceiving. However, the Two of Wands is your set aside, meaning the universe wants you to sit with the Empress this month, like, and be still. Like she's got, you'll notice, there's not a lot of movement there in this card. In fact, she has her arms crossed, which is sort of like an inward, it's an enveloping inward motion. She's focusing on herself, she's focusing on what she needs. And although like she/you will eventually need to move forward with the two, she's not concerned about it right now. She's concerned about being present, and like the planning can come later. So kind of along the lines of where I was saying earlier, to not be like feeling like you need to zip around doing A, B, and C, you also don't need to zip around mentally doing the planning for A, B, and Z. A, B, and C. Skipped ahead a bunch there with the Z. But you know what I mean. It's really, I think you're invited to be still this month. And so try not to fight that if possible. I know it's not easy. It's not easy for a lot of us, but it will pay off. In your position of additional considerations, you drew the Six of Pentacles. Which here, you know, the Pentacles and the Empress have like kind of a similar vibe in that, to me, the Empress is the embodiment of Cups and Pentacles, because she's got kind of like all these like feelings and emotional like abundance, but she also is very about the physical body and like being out in nature and earth energy, which is of course Pentacles. For the Six of Pentacles in particular, we're talking about having and not having, which can also be kind of a power thing. So this month you're also being examined or asked to examine the ways that you have and do not have, and the ways that other people in your life have and do not have. And sort of maybe the most traditional interpretation of that for Pentacles is financial. So if that makes sense for you to evaluate, then by all means do so. However, because you also are being asked to embody the Empress this month, I'm feeling like the Pentacle vibe is a bit more of body vibes. Are you comfortable in your body? What could make you more comfortable in your body? Are outside influences telling you that you shouldn't be comfortable in your body? How can you tap the energy of the Empress to shut out those voices and to feel the way that you know you need to feel? You know? Also, again, to reference the pregnancy example, if you've not been able to get pregnant, that's kind of like a bodily not having thing that you want, if that's what you've been wanting. Or, you know, again, because the Six of Pentacles in the Smith Rider Waite is, it's a person with money, and then like a person who doesn't have money who's like receiving it. So it's that exchange. If the pregnancy kind of thing resonates for other people in your life, what do those relationships look like in terms of, I'm trying to think of how to say this in the best way, but like, we don't know what's going on in other people's lives all the time. Sometimes we know couples who've been trying to have kids for a long time and can't. So that's a body not having that they want. And so, sorry, that was falling asleep. So just be mindful this month of the people around you as well as yourself, and the different ways that everyone is experiencing this sort of like earthly having and not having, and what that means for your life, and how you can be sensitive to it in other people's lives. So that is your reading for November. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. I upload this suite of videos for all the signs before the 1st of every month, so you'll get a little bit of time to sit with it before the month begins. And oh, if you hit the bell icon after you subscribe, you'll be automatically notified as soon as I upload all the videos. Excuse me. So I think that is it. I will pause this and pan down so that you can see your 3 cards laid out in front of you, just because I feel like that's helpful visually. Bye, Scorpio. So here you can see you've got the Empress to focus on, the 2 of Wands to set aside, and the 6 of Pentacles as an additional consideration. Thanks for tuning in.